Hello and welcome to the All Rookie Podcast. Today is November the 11th, 2022, and I'm your host, William Harris, aka William is Bill. Great to be back with you today for another great episode of the All Rookie Podcast. And I don't say that flippantly. I've been sick for like a month with a sore throat. If you've been wondering where I've been, I haven't deserted you guys. I'm finally getting better. Put me on some steroids. First day better. Let's do a pod. I missed you guys. So, in today's episode, we're going to talk about obviously my rookies, but we're just going to go over how they've been playing thus far through the season. There's been 11 games played at the max right now. Well, 12 games max right now for some of the rookies. Some have played two, some have played 12, any range in there. So, we're going to cover it all, mainly with the top 15 guys and go over their stats, how they're doing, even their fantasy rankings. So let's get straight to it like there's nothing to it. The number one guy, undoubtedly, almost in every category, Paolo Banchero for the Orlando Magic. Number one pick in the draft. A bit controversial, but he is proven that he was a clear choice. Should have been a clear choice. He's the best player thus far this season. He's the leader in points, 23 and a half points per game for rookies. Leader in rebounds, 8.3. And second in assists with 3.6. Only behind Jaden Ivey at 3.8. So, those are the three main categories right there, especially offensively. And he's at the top of just about everything. He's second in minutes for rookies as well. So, he's tied for sixth in blocks. He's just truly, truly, truly doing it all. Not that far behind in the top 10 with steals. Paolo Banchero, through 11 games, like I said, 23 and a half points. He is shooting 46% from the field. He is averaging 8.3 rebounds per game, 3.5 assists, 0.7 steals, 0.9 blocks, 3 turnovers per game. And, his only negative you could say is he's shooting 25% from three, but that's not a part of his game that he relies on. He truly is doing everything, shooting the J, breaking down the defender, playing in the post, playing from the perimeter, driving, creating, making his own shot. And just bullying guys, bullying NBA players. And this is not the guy that we saw in Duke. When I was scouting, I saw a guy that could do a lot of these things, but was still a little raw, a little rough around the edges, not so aggressive. Now all of that has been pulled out of him, and right now he is playing like an NBA vet. You see flashes of Blake Griffin when he was with the Clippers in Paolo. And he's playing like an unprecedented rookie right now. And I did not see that coming into the draft. I had him ranked as my third highest ranked rookie. I figured he'd be third. And that was based off his college stats, but that's something we have to consider. You can't predict the future, but it happens sometimes. Just because you're the number one guy in college does not mean you're going to be the number one guy in the NBA. And the same thing, if you're the number 5 guy, that doesn't mean you're going to be the number 5 guy. You could be the number 1, number da da da. So, but Paolo, the point is you can get better in the NBA. Your first initial thought is if he averaged 10 in college, that number is going to drop in the NBA because it's harder. He averaged 20 in college. That's going to be 15 in the NBA. Not necessarily, and not everyone is going to be in the same type of position, predicament that every other player is in. Some guys land in great landing spots, some do not. Clearly, this was the right spot for Paolo, being dominant so far in 35 minutes per game. And you just want to see it continue. You kind of don't like seeing players peak this early because, it's a long season. He'd be a third of the way done with this season in college right now. He's 1/8 of his way done in the regular season for the NBA. So hopefully he doesn't burn out. Hopefully the Magic don't overwork him. But we will see what happens. The Magic tweeted today, they said Paolo is him, and you can't really argue that. He's just been playing incredible, and you love to see it, and I hope it continues. And if you want to know in fantasy rankings, which will kind of blow your mind, considering everything I said, you would think, he's potentially an all-star right now with the numbers he's putting up. Where is he ranked in fantasy and category leagues? Probably 30th, right? 40th, 50th? He's ranked number 96. And that's just how it goes to show you how tricky fantasy rankings are. You know, that 3-point percentage is not good. He only makes 1 3-pointer per game. You know, nothing is outstanding. Like if he had 2 blocks per game, he'd be ranked 50 spots higher. He has 1 block per game. It's just little things like that. Fantasy category stuff. You can't really base how well a rookie's playing on their fantasy numbers and standings because Paolo's been truly incredible. And there's not 96 guys, 95 guys better than him. However you want to stack it, I'll tell you that right now. Let's go to the number 2 scorer as far as rookies thus far, and that is Bennedict Mathurin, the rookie for the Pacers, averaging 20.4 points per game. And he's shooting 46% from the field, which is very close to Paolo. And he is shooting 43% from 3. That is insane. That number will come down. 43% is like Steph Curry levels. But it's great to see. He's been playing well. He's not been playing like a rookie. He came in from day one, like, let's go. I mean, even before day one, he was asked who he wants to go at the most. And he said LeBron James. He wasn't pulling any punches, going straight to the top. He's averaging 3.5 rebounds per game, 2.2 assists per game, a half steal per game, and 0.1 blocks. So that's not a great number, but he's a shooting guard. He's around 6'6". Paolo's around 6'10". So the bigger guys will have more blocks. You just want to see Bennedict continue to progress. They're using him as a 6-man. No matter if someone's injured or not, they're bringing other guys off the bench ahead of him to start. They're keeping him on the bench role. I don't know if that's an ego thing or, if they just know once he starts, he's never looking back. Rick Carlisle has been known to be difficult with rookies. So not really liking them at all, but it's no real, denying Bennedict Mathurin. And he is the second in running for, rookie of the year. And unfortunately, it's not a close race between 1 and 2 right now because, the rebounds, assists, the other numbers are not up there with Paolo or even with any other of the top 5 guys. So right now, Bennedict is really killing it with scoring, shooting well from the field, but you want to see some other numbers get up there. But you can't complain at all. 20 points per game for a rookie, 1 year out of college. That's incredible. And he looks the part. Love it, love it, love it. Now, next we're going to our third leading rookie. Now, we were at Paolo with 23. Bennedict with 20. Now it's a drop. Jaden Ivey is next with 15.4 points per game. 5.4 rebounds per game, 4 assists, 1.5 steals, and a half block per game. He is getting more blocks than you would expect. I expect that number 2 to go down, but he's playing very well all around. He came out of the gates hot. He kind of slowed down, and now he's going ramping back up again to playing well again. Those 5 rebounds are incredible for a small guard. Like I said, Bennedict has 3.5. We would love to see his numbers go up. But, Jaden Ivey is playing almost 32 minutes a game. Bennedict's at 28. So the minutes matter. But Jaden Ivey has came in and fit well with Cade Cunningham. Cade has kind of taken a bit of a hit with all this rookie talent that's in there with him and Duran. They got Bogdan Bogdanovic, a lot of guys now in Detroit. So Cade is taking a hit, but Jaden Ivey is still flourishing, playing very well. He is shooting 32% from 3. You got to love that, 44% from the field. So Jaden Ivey, our third leading scorer, third leading candidate for Rookie of the Year. It's really a 3-man race and right now, but you can expect these next guys to move up in the standings. Let me tell you, I said Paolo was a 96 ranked in category. Jaden Ivey is 104. And Bennedict Mathurin that I just went over is 133. And that's mainly because he's mainly points right now. But Jaden Ivey's got those rebounds and even more blocks than Bennedict Mathurin. So that's why you see that big drop off. Like I said, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 block, one assist, 1 block, type of thing can move your numbers dramatically. So Jaden Ivey is 30 spots higher than Benedict, and the numbers aren't that different. But only numbers that don't really matter are points, because he's 5 points per game more than Jaden, but Jaden has those other categories. Next, let's go to Keegan Murray, averaging 13 points per game, averaging 4 boards, 1.5 assists, almost 1 steal, almost 1 block per game. And those numbers are keeping him above water. But he is really on a downturn right now. His last few games have been pretty bad. And it was interesting that there's another guy that I'm going to talk about next who's been in a bit of a slump, and he's being killed by NBA Twitter. But Keegan Murray gets no slander. So it's interesting. But, he's been in a pretty hard slump right now. But you have to think that's going to pick up. This is the thing with rookies. Like I said with Jaden Ivey. Started off hot, came down, going back up. Keegan Murray's going to go through the same thing. Jabari Smith's going to go through the same thing. Just the higher you're drafted, the more you're going to be publicized about it. And the fact that Jabari was almost the first pick, he gets compared to Paolo a lot. And that's going to be hard to deal with because Paolo's playing so incredible. But Keegan Murray is fitting in pretty well with the Sacramento Kings. They are having a tough season, per usual, getting a lot of referee issues going on. We'll just leave it at that. But, Keegan still 4th in points, even though, things have not been going his way lately. I expect a turnaround coming soon. Keegan Murray is ranked 109. So ranked higher than Benedict Mathurin as well. Number 5 in scoring, Jabari Smith, 10.5 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 0.7 assists, 0.2 steals, 1 block per game. He has that 1 block, which is helping him out per game. But you really want Jabari to be doing more. And that's kind of greedy in my opinion, because you see the other rookies like Benedict and Paolo flourishing offensively. And you want Jabari to do the same thing because he was as talented or more talented than both. In my opinion, more talented than both of those guys in college. He was just dominant. He did play with Walker Kessler in the paint with him, and he does not have a Walker Kessler right now in Houston. So having a solidified big man may help Jabari. We know the Rockets are kind of a cluster. They just have a lot of talent thrown around. They don't really know what they're doing. They're experimenting. They're trying to tank. And Jabari is going through all the fields of that. But the talent is there. There's no need to panic on him. Most rookies don't come out of the gate like Paolo and Benedict. You have to keep that in mind. Most rookies take a while to get started. Kobe Bryant was not good at all his first beginning of his season. Even in the playoffs, he played some horrible games in his first year. But with time, he obviously turned into the superstar that he is. So, at this point, people are just murdering rookies after 11 games, calling them a bust, calling them not that good, saying he was the wrong fit. Oh, he shouldn't have even been considered number 1. Like, it's been 11 games. Just think last year, Jalen Green was not good the first half of the season. He turned it on later. Even Trae Young, he was not good the first half of his rookie season. He turned it on later. People love to hop on the train of this rookie's not doing anything. He was drafted in the top 5. He's a bust. No. Not everybody comes out the same. People take their time. Jabari, this could be working out in Jabari's favor to go through his slumps now to get better in the long run. So stop putting all the pressures of your fantasy team on these rookies. They will get there. Next, I'm going to go with Shaedon Sharpe, averaging 9.5 points per game, averaging almost 3 boards, half assist, half steal, 0.3 blocks per game. He's starting to get minutes for Portland. A couple injuries here and there have gotten him minutes. If I didn't say, Jabari Smith is ranked number 210, by the way, so that stands out. But Shaedon Sharpe is ranked number 238. It just happens like that. Shaedon Sharpe is playing really, really well for a player I didn't think would play much at all this season, because Portland is a very talented team. And, they sat their guys last year because of injuries. This year, they're trying to win. Shaedon Sharpe sat out his would-be freshman year in college to not lose his draft stock. So you figure he's going to be rusty. The talent's there, but he's going to be raw, take time to develop. No, he's playing 21 minutes a game already for a team projected to make the playoffs and playing very well. And his teammates are loving him. You can see it when he's out there. He makes such good plays. He's such a young, bouncy guy. His hops are all over the place on offensive end and defensive end. So Portland made the right pick for them. Just hope to see more progression. He's shooting 51% from the field. He's not shooting a lot, but you just want to see all the other numbers continue to progress, and Shaedon Sharpe's looking like a hit for Portland. Like I said, ranked 238. Number 7, Tari Eason, averaging 8.6 points per game, 5 boards per game, 1 assist, 1.5 steals, and 0.6 blocks. Those 1.5 steals are huge. You have to love that. That has him ranked number 124. Once again, above Ben Mathurin. But Tari Eason's playing well in 18 minutes per game. They're treating him like Alperen Sengun last year. The talent's there. The minutes were not. So hopefully Tari will continue to press into minutes. They're trying to play Eric Gordon and, Jae'Sean Tate. Just play Tari Eason, okay? I know you want to trade Eric Gordon. You've been trying to trade Eric Gordon for 5 years. It's not going to happen. Just play Tari Eason. I'm loving this game. He showed in the preseason and post and summer league why he should have been a lottery pick like I had him projected, but he fell to 17 and has paid off for Houston already. Next, I want to do a little bit of news on Blake Wesley. He injured his MCL. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. But as far as scoring per game, he was ranked 8th, but he's only played 2 games. And it was very unfortunate timing, right when Josh Primo had his incident, or not, allegedly. Blake Wesley began to get minutes and he began to flourish. And it was very short-lived because he soon after got injured. So that was very depressing because Blake looked good. I had him as a preseason all-rookie second-team player candidate. And he was looking like he was well on his way, but he's going to be out for those 2 months. We'll see what happens when he gets back. But I wanted to give him a shout out because he still was at 8 points right there. And Jalen Duren is next at 7.7 points per game, almost 7 boards, basically no assists, no steals, but 1.5 blocks per game. And he came out of the gate looking amazing. Jalen Duren looking like he should be starting for Detroit, but once again, with rookies, teams are weird. He is getting minutes while he can. Thankfully for him, Marvin Bagley's out, so that's allowed Jalen Duren to get minutes, perform well for this team, especially with the blocks and rebounds. He's just been dominant. You pretty much, as long as he gets about 20 to 22 minutes per game, he's getting 10 and 10, which is ridiculous. So imagine he was getting 30 minutes per game. And, you just love his young enthusiasm out there, his energy. He is ranked number 244. That is because of free throw percentage, basically. He gets that up, he'll be in a good spot. But that's how these rankings are in non-cap fantasy. Let's go next to Jalen Williams from OKC, averaging 7.4 points per game and 1 steal per game. Other stats minuscule. But Jalen Williams is a player that we expected to come out of the gates hot, but he got hurt in the first game. That he missed about 4 or 5 games. Since then, he's been working his way back to getting back into the rotation, averaging 20 minutes per game. And I think he's still ramping up. I don't know if the injury scared him or not. In preseason, he was dominant, but that is preseason. So in the NBA, I expect for him to get better. He's better than this, but he did come from a small school, and now he's playing against NBA players. So it's a bit of a transition, and as long as everyone is healthy on OKC, it's a bit of a logjam there for minutes. But keep an eye out on Jalen Williams. He's a very talented young player, and he's ranked number 167 right now. Same goes for AJ Griffin for the Hawks. He's averaging 7 points per game. Not really anything else in other stats, like 1 here, 1 there, 1 there, blah, blah, blah. But that's because he hadn't played much. He's only averaging 12 minutes per game, but still at 7 points per game. That is because he had a huge 24-point performance the other night. So things were looking promising for him, but the next game, not so much. So just the ups and downs of a rookie year. They can be special, they can be explosive. But when you're on a playoff contending team, it's hard to get minutes sometimes unless the position you play is very shallow. So, but it was great to see AJ have a breakout game. Next, Jeremy Sochan, 7 points per game, 3.5 boards, 1 steal per game, half block per game. He's kind of being the role player that I thought he would be for San Antonio. He is one of the youngest players to start for San Antonio, and since Tim Duncan, and he's just playing his role. I had him projected as a role player. That's what he is. He should not have been a lottery pick, but he was, and it just is what it is. There's nothing much I could say. He's not been bad. He's just there. Next, Andrew Nembhard, 6.5 points per game, 3.5 assists per game, almost 1 steal per game. Andrew Nembhard, early second-round pick to the Pacers, has been impressive to me. I thought, why draft him? You could have got a forward. A lot of Pacers fans felt the same way. He's been amazing. I was like, he's going to stay behind TJ McConnell, Tyrese Halliburton. He'll never play. He's playing 20 minutes per game in 10 games and playing really, really well. And the talent is there, but I didn't think he would be playing this much or at all, really. I thought he'd be in the G League. He's getting 20 minutes per game. That's impressive for Andrew Nembhard, and he has not looked like it's been too much for him. He's not in over his head. Keep an eye on Andrew Nembhard. If you're in like 14 teams or team leagues or whatever, you should know that name. Playing very well. Jake LaRavia, another young player, playing very well, and almost 19 minutes per game, averaging 6.4 and around 4 rebounds per game. He's just a great fit for Memphis. Same with David Roddy. He averaging 5 points, similar stats. They are great fits for Memphis. When we see Memphis take players in the draft, we're always like, you're always surprised. You don't expect much. But lately, after they hit on Desmond Bane, it's like, we expect a lot now. They hit on a couple guys, and they draft Jake LaRavia. It's like, why? That seemed a little high for him. Draft David Roddy. What? I didn't like his tape at all. And you just have to shut up when Memphis is drafting, because look what they have now. Players that fit perfectly in their system, in their scheme, and it's no complaints. I mean, they're Memphis guys, and there's no looking back. They picked the right guys for them. Next, I'm going to talk about Walker Kessler. 6 points per game, 5 rebounds per game. That's good. Almost 2 blocks per game. And lately, his blocks have been ramping up, around 7 blocks in the last 3 games. And he's averaging 15 minutes per game. Utah does not know what they're doing. Do they? Danny Ainge seemed like he was trying to tank. The talent on the floor seemed like they were trying to tank. But when you put the ball in those guys' hands, you have a bunch of winners on that team. So Walker Kessler, who we thought could start, is only getting 15 minutes per game. If those minutes were at 20, 25, you have a top 7 fantasy guy. But right now, he's a little bit further down on the list, but playing very well. Can't complain at all. He's ranked 135 thus far in 15 minutes per game. So whenever they get the boy with the ponytail out of there, Kelly Olynyk, expect his minutes to go up. I want to give a shout out to MarJon Beauchamp, only averaging 6 points per game, 3 boards, but his minutes are starting to ramp up. He had a really great game a few games ago. Next game was a complete dud. Game after that, back being pretty good. You know what I mean? So look for him to start earning minutes, and he's on a championship team. Truly hard to get minutes on the championship team. So for him to have a great game on the championship team, very impressive, very promising. Just look out for him, because he looked like he belonged, even though the next game he did not. But I could see them working him in there a little bit more now. And I'll give a shout out finally to Christian Koloko. He's only averaging 4 points per game, but he's averaging 1.4 blocks per game. A couple games ago, he had a 5 or 6 block game. So his minutes are picking up. Precious Achiuwa is out. Another player, Pascal Siakam, is out as well. So Koloko is going to continue to get minutes. He's a guy projected to be in the second team all rookie. And you just have to love that he's getting an opportunity to play. And like you said, you're going to see a lot of news about these players and a lot of overreactions. Like, man, why is he getting minutes? Oh, he's incredible. Why is he even playing? He's terrible. All of it is just sit back, watch the games, let them play their rookie year out. It's all a learning experience. No one is coming in here to be dominant their rookie year. It may happen, which is looking like it may happen, especially with Paolo, but this is a learning curve for these guys. So you have to give them time to develop. And in my opinion, they're exceeding expectations. We have 8 players in the top 182. Last year, I think there were about 8 players in the top 300. So, these guys are playing great, and that's not to mention the guys that are on their way up. So I'm very proud of this rookie class so far. Do not overreact. Continue to show them support. Look out for them. If there's any rookie you want me to cover, let me know. My voice is back, like I said, so I should be back with more episodes coming up soon. Thank you all for listening. Subscribe. Please subscribe. Appreciate you for watching. Until next time, I'm out of here. Peace.